just typed into Tuskegee,
and just
that's
because you haven't heard about it, Anton, doesn't mean it's not out there and it's not happening. You do lean more into topics that you align with and that you agree with. So I'm not surprised that you didn't hear about this because you're not really pro-black anyway.
I hate hearing that BS about this pro-black this and pro-black that.
Okay, so first of all, I just found on NBC News that federal agencies bar Black History Month and other special observances. This is something that falls under all of the executive orders that I guess fall under DEI. But the thing is that these things are not based on hiring people based on their skin color or whatever the case may be, or whatever DEI was supposed to uphold. These are particular things that protect the history and the contributions that Black people have contributed to this country. And it's like he's trying to erase them. There's no reason to completely remove all of the contributions that the Tuskegee Airmen have had in regards to aviation, when these are things that people need to know about as to why.
So first of all, before we get too deep into this video, if you guys don't know him, that's Anton Daniels and I'm LFR Jojo. The federal government did not ban Black History Month. That didn't happen. And I actually looked it up. The federal government did not ban Black History Month, while some federal agencies, including the Defense Intelligence Agency and the DoD, have restricted and paused activities and events related to cultural awareness months, including Black History. This was due to a directive from the Trump administration, not a formal ban. So no, it is not completely banned, and if you are in some federal agencies, you can still celebrate Black History Month. What actually happened was they're saying that we had events specifically for this month. We will not be celebrating, or I wouldn't even say celebrating is the right word. We won't be doing these events anymore. That's what actually happened. But to say that the federal government said, no, these activities are banned, that's just not true. And that's like a liberal talking point. That's like a liberal narrative they push to spread this type of anti-Trump propaganda. Don't listen to it. I'm not here to glaze Trump or anything like that. I'm just trying to be completely objective, and I hate hearing stuff like that because it doesn't tell the full truth. But let's continue.
The aviation is the industry it is today. The Black Tuskegee Airmen played a huge part in what it is. So why is that particular sector of it attempting to be erased? Why is that so wrong?
What is it erased from?
From aviation, I guess. When people want to apply or want to get in the industry, I guess whatever process or whatever history they're going to teach them in regards into their training, that particular side of it, they want to remove.
So we need to know about, okay, so if you're learning about aviation, it's important for you to learn about the Tuskegee Airmen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. Because
why? How does that help you do your job better?
Well, you already said you don't know about the Tuskegee Airmen, right?
No, I haven't heard anything about the Tuskegee Airmen being removed from anything, is what I'm saying. But my question is, how is it that you learning about the Tuskegee Airmen help you do? Because I don't even know if this is true or not, but we're going to assume that it is, right? For the sake of conversation. How does you learning about the Tuskegee Airmen help you be a pilot?
Because I assume when you go and you become a pilot or you start to learn about the aviation industry, they teach you the history of aviation.
What are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea. And I'm saying this not speaking ignorantly. I am an engineer. I have a master's degree in engineering, if you guys don't know. And yes, there are Black engineers who probably had some sort of history in engineering that pioneered the way for African Americans or Black people in engineering, possibly. But when you go to those engineering classes and stuff, they don't give you a history lesson on Black engineers or white engineers or any color of engineer at all. They say you need to know this calculus, you need to know how to code in Python, you need to know how to do these physics problems, you need to know how to build these systems, or you're going to fail. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because engineering is known to be a very technical field. It's a very, very technical field. And so is aviation. So the reason that that's important is because if you're teaching people how to fly planes, the number one goal, the only goal, should be to teach them how to fly planes. Not saying that the Tuskegee Airmen is not important. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, it's important, but it's not relevant to your job necessarily. I'm just being honest.
Aviation and all its contributors in regards to it. And the Tuskegee Airmen did such thing. So why is it that these particular people can be spoken about, and those those other white counterparts that have contributed to aviation, that part stays intact as far as the historical facts of this industry. Those things are still being taught, but we're going to particularly take out this part in regards to the black contribute.
First of all, I haven't seen, you haven't cited anything where it says it's removing the Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay, give me a second. Didn't you just read it, Q? Didn't you just read it?
I saw it online, yeah.
And
what did you see? Where did you see it at? Was it the shade? Was it the shade room?
It says Fox 32 Chicago, AL.com, CBS News. I just typed into Tuskegee.
And just because you haven't heard about it, Anton, doesn't mean it's not out there and it's not happening. You do lean more into topics that you align with and that you agree with. So I'm not surprised that you didn't hear about this, because you're not really pro-black anyway. So it's okay for it. So it's a lot of things that they're doing that you're.
I hate hearing that BS about this pro-black this and pro-black that, because the biggest problem in the black community has nothing to do with anything the Trump administration or the federal government banned from being discussed in offices. First of all, a lot of the employees in aviation aren't even black. What percent of pilots in the United States are black? And what percent of that works for the federal government? Not many. I know for a fact it's not many. So when you say he's anti-black, that implies that he's anti the betterment of the entirety of the black community. The biggest issues we have is black on black crime. Us not getting married and having black families. All the children we're having out of wedlock. Our lack of education, whether that's in a college or a trade or a skill. That's our issues. And I'm not saying this from a biased perspective. The statistics prove that. And here we are having this stupid, mindless discussion, because that's what it is, of another thing the Trump administration has done to set us back, even though we weren't there to begin with. Here's the problem. The black people who are in the aviation, who are pilots, who are engineers, who are federal employees, they are already pretty successful from an objective point of view. They do not represent the majority of black people in the United States. They do not represent the majority of our financial standings in the United States. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because the things that we should be discussing that actually affect us are low literacy rates in these inner black cities. We're not talking about that. Forget that. We're talking about what the Trump administration did to set us back.
Probably okay with as it pertains to black people. So I understand why that would just go over your head, because it's something that you're okay with. You know, you're okay with them removing our history and not, acknowledging black.
Last thing. You're mad that they're removing our history. We have low literacy rates, so the youngins not even reading the history. They don't even know the history. Go up to an average 13-year-old and ask them, do you know who the Tuskegee Airmen are? Obviously not. Because Trump wasn't in office the past 4 years. They should have learned this, right? They don't know. Go up to the average 16-year-old and ask them. Go up to a 20-year-old black person and ask them. We have low literacy rates. So even if he removes it, they weren't rating it anyways. They watching Kai Cenat on stream. They watching DDG. And I love DDG and Kai Cenat stuff. We watching NBA, we playing 2K all day. What are we talking about?
People in this country on that level. You're okay with that. So I'm not surprised that you don't know.
So I have a question, because I think you said something about Black history. I'm be honest.
No. I'm pulling up the article.
Black History Month.
Black History
shots
Month.
fired.
Why y'all look it up, right?
I'm pulling up the article.
Okay, look it up. The Black History Month. I don't know how many years people have been doing it here, but why do Black people need a month to celebrate the people that had made achievements in the world? Imagine if white people, let's do a white people month. Like I
Q. I gotta
every month is white people month.
I gotta stop you right there, sis, because you're way smarter than what you're about to say right now.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I need you to back that up completely, because the reason why we needed the month is because they tried to claim that we didn't do the things that we have done in society. We've had to create these months and these HBCUs and these particular institutions that acknowledge our contributions, because they try to suppress everything that we have contributed to this country, or they try to steal it. They steal our ideas. We don't need a White History Month because that's all we know. We know all about the white history. That's all they want us to know, which is why they're trying to erase everything about what we do. So that is why we need these particular months to say, hey, Black history is also American history, and we should not remove that from we shouldn't remove that from the education system. We shouldn't remove it from historical facts in society, and that's what they're working overtime to try to do. That is why we had to have the particular month in the first place, because we were not being acknowledged for our contributions in the progress of society. We've created a lot of things that we're using: cell phones, the street lights, everything that you are using on a day-to-day basis. Black people have done so and created these things that you're dealing with and handling every single day. And unfortunately, when the progress of Black people is so great, the powers that be want to suppress that. This is why they're doing what they're doing now. That's why they're targeting certain groups and classes as it pertains to what they're trying to roll back and what they're trying to change, and place white supremacy and white up. I just saw another headline. Somebody in one of these cabinets said, "Oh, we need more competent white men in these positions." If that's not upholding white supremacy, then what is? So it's like that's
the
Air
Force. But the Air Force reversed the decision, so it's not happening.
No. I read the article. Currently,
the problem is that she's not debating legislation. She's debating headlines. She's debating what people are tweeting on Twitter and what people are posting on TikTok. She's debating what white supremacists are saying behind burner accounts on Twitter, that they need more white men in these positions. The problem is this: for the past few years, there have been racial biases in high positions. That should just be the truth by this point. I don't even know why people are debating it. There have been biases. There has been discrimination against white people on that level. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's the truth. What we need in these positions is not even a certain race. It doesn't matter who the race is in the positions. You just need someone who's objective, who's fair, who's logical in these positions. And this is what I'm saying. It shouldn't even be a crazy take. It should just be where we're heading as a society. But no, I have to say this. We are falling too deep into racial politics, which is actually ironic that we're talking about Black History Month. One of the biggest predominant figures in Black History Month was MLK. He died due to the hands of racists, and one of his biggest claims was that we need to get away from identity politics and now don't judge a man by the by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. But here we are in 2025, still talking about what color of the skin someone is in a position. Why does that matter? Why does it matter if I'm Black in a position? Why does it matter if I'm white in a position? Why does it matter if I'm Asian in a position? Like, genuine question. Why does it matter? Who cares? We need to be talking about getting the best people in position, the people who are smart, logical, empathetic, graceful, have good leadership skills. That's what we want. But rather, we're talking about, oh, you passed the paper bag test, you can join you can be in this position, or you don't pass it, you're dark enough just to be in this position. Like, bruh, why are we still at this point in 2025?
Courtesy of the AP, and what happened was the actual order was to remove all diversity, equity, and inclusion training from everything that was going on with the Air Force itself. And so they didn't just remove that, they removed everything that had anything to do with diversity, equity, and
inclusion. So what else?
Hold on. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm
reading the article in real time. So they removed women's Air Force service pilots or WASPs, that history and all of this other type of stuff, because they didn't feel as though in the training that it had anything to do with the training of you becoming a better pilot itself. However, when they went back and they looked at it, he told them to reinstate it. And so because it was a part of the diversity, equity, inclusion training program, it's now outside of that program. They're still removing the diversity, equity, and inclusion training, but they're letting that still exist within the so that they can still teach it as a part of the pilot training program.
Okay,
so
great.
When you say that they rolling back all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They're not rolling back the history that's tied to aviation itself.
Okay, well, what I saw was that, and now that they refuted it, that's great. But they're still wanting to bar Black History Month and just suppressing blackness.
Okay, let me look at the Black History Month bar part.
Wait, Jazz. To your point, Jazz, I just think that why are we just secluding if pro-black, right? Pro-black people. Why are you only secluding yourself just to 1 month?
We shouldn't.
Like that's what I don't really get. And then
what do you mean?
I'm saying
like
Valentine's Day is more celebrated than Black History Month.
But here's the thing,
so I just don't think it should. Y'all should like be Black History Month. Now let's post who made this, who made. No, that should be celebrated every day, not a month.
But you making it seem
wait. Let me correct it. Let me correct it so y'all not speaking false information.
But let me just say this, if I could. It's not a. You're saying y'all. We didn't ask for the month. That's what they decided to give us and gave us the shortest month.
Y'all
but wait a minute,
Anton,
can I please finish?
Y'all arguing something that's not true.
Can I finish my thought though? Thank you. I appreciate it. So what I'm saying is,
what do you mean you're arguing? He said you're arguing something that's not true, and you said, "Can I finish my thought?" Why would he want you to finish a thought that's not true, bruh? Like, what are we even talking about? It's like people just like to talk sometimes. They gave you the month. That's what you said, and they took it away. Like, what are we talking about? That's another reason why you probably shouldn't celebrate it. You're celebrating something. If you're pro-black, like that phrase that we throw around, pro-black, they gave you the month, so it's theirs to take away as well, right? Yeah. So why are you mad about it? You should just celebrate it on your own terms. You're pro-black. You're liberated. Just do what you want. You probably don't even work in the federal government anyways. So this probably doesn't even affect you. You can still do what you want if you wanted to, but you're mad that they took something away that they gave to you? I thought you were liberated. I'm gonna end the video there because I'm really done with this conversation. Let me know what y'all think. My name is LFR Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.